Hi, I'm Daniel Segal, Senior Care Advisor at Total Senior, and I'm here today to talk to you about how to properly prepare for the journey you might experience when you go through an experience with your loved one. It might be a heart attack, it might be a fall that results in a broken hip, ankle, knee, femur, collarbone, elbow, whatever it may be. Unfortunately, things happen. What's important is that you understand what to expect and how things will unfold over the course of the next several days, weeks, months, or even years. So let's dive into it. I want to start talking about the journey when your loved one is already in the hospital because something has already happened. Let's say they have a surgery. Let's say they have some kind of procedure done and they're in the hospital recovering. The things you need to expect next are they will probably need some rehabilitation. They may need care. But there are definitely going to be decisions to be made. So the first step, if you're coming off of a broken hip or a stroke or a heart attack, are addressing the concern. And then typically your loved one will be discharged from the hospital to a skilled nursing facility for what they'll call short-term rehab. This rehab is paid for by Medicare. It's covered by your health insurance benefits, whether it's regular Medicare, whether you have a supplemental plan, you'll still have the same coverage. Medicare typically covers up to 100 days for short-term rehab. The guideline to that is that you must continue to show progress in your recovery and show that you're benefiting from the physical therapy, the occupational therapy, or the speech therapy that you're receiving in the nursing facility. Now, when choosing that nursing facility, you have patient choice. The hospital might give you a couple options, but that doesn't necessarily mean it'll be the best option for your particular situation. Unfortunately, doctors, social workers, case managers, professionals, they have relationships, they have incentives, they have certain criteria by which they work. But you have to remember that your responsibility is to your own family. So we highly encourage families to find solutions for short-term rehab that are as close as possible to the family member who will visit their loved one as often as possible. We all know that quality of care is going to heavily rely on your presence to advocate for your family member. So the closer they are, the more likely you are to show up, the more likely you are to keep an eye on their progress and on how they're being cared for, and to address any concerns, issues that you may have, or to ask the questions about what's going on. The rehab, the skilled nursing facility they're in, will want to maximize their benefits because that's how they make their money. You need to make sure that your loved one is benefiting from the therapy they're receiving in order to recover and get back on their feet to hopefully return back to their previous status of life, whether it was in their home, whether they were already in an independent living facility or in an assisted living facility, or maybe they were living with you. Through that journey of rehab, you'll slowly begin to understand how much progress they're making and what their new baseline is. What that means is that before something happened, they might have been completely independent. They were living by themselves, cooking their own meals, managing their own medications, bathing, walking, dressing, driving even. But now that something's happened, they might not return back to exactly who they were before. They may experience physical challenge, they may experience a change in cognitive state. As you're watching their rehab unfold, you'll have a better idea of what's going to be the best fit for them. So before the rehab comes to you and says, mom needs to be discharged in 3 days or dad needs to be discharged in 2 weeks, be aware that the maximum is going to be 100 days. Call it about 3 months. And start doing your research well in advance. Get an understanding of what it might look like for them to come back home. Talk to a couple caregiving agencies about what it will cost, the way they will staff, who might be available, start interviewing caregivers. Maybe you want to look at some assisted living communities, some memory care communities, some residential boarding care homes. Start visiting and touring a couple places. Learn about what they offer, learn about the quality of life your loved one may have there, learn about how much it will cost. Prepare a budget to make sure that they're going to get everything they need without running out of money. Not today and not in the future. If you have questions about what that journey might look like when you go through something with your family, give us a call and let's talk about the specific details of what you're going through. By learning the details of what happened specifically to your loved one, we can help you budget, we can help you explore specific options, make introductions to specific communities and care providers that'll be the right fit for your loved one. But most importantly, get in touch with us so that we can educate you and prepare you for what's to come in the future.